I want to take some time to talk about the James Harden trade to the Clippers, because at this point, the way the Clippers are playing, it just seems completely unfair. The big three of Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi has pretty much worked perfectly. Now, look, I'll be the first to say I was kind of a skeptic when this trade happened, right? Because on the outset, right, like, you can see that, the pairing of Harden, Paul George and Kawhi, it would theoretically work, right? Because, you got Harden's playmaking, and just with, how George and Kawhi play, it would make sense that the big three would work. But I think the thing that concerned me about the trade is that I thought the Clippers gave up a little bit too much depth, right? They gave up Nick Batum, they gave up Marcus Morris Sr., and they gave up Robert Covington. So at this point, right, they had kind of lost, most of their wing depth behind Paul George and Kawhi. And, they just really didn't seem to have that deep of a team. But boy, was I wrong, because Westbrook decided to come off the bench. Norman Powell is coming off the bench. Obviously, he's been a great sixth man for them the past couple years. And then you got Daniel Tice. He's been the, perfect backup center. And then Amir Coffey has kind of taken over that ninth spot in the rotation. And PJ Tucker is kind of, oddly enough, out of the rotation. So kind of an interesting kind of mix of players there, but honestly, the Clippers bench has been pretty solid, and this team has worked together perfectly, and Harden has made it all work, because I think at first, right, obviously when Harden came over, him and Westbrook were both starting, and you could just see it didn't really mesh, right? Because both Harden and Westbrook, they are ball-dominant players, right? Both need the ball in their hands. Both need to be, the ones creating plays, right? Setting guys up, scoring. They need the ball in their hands for that, right? They don't really score off ball. But Harden, right, he can score off ball, right? He can be a catch-and-shoot player and play off other superstars when he needs to, right, and when he wants to. So that's kind of the difference between him and Westbrook. And I'm not saying that Westbrook can't play off the ball and can't play off stars, but just with the way he plays, it's a bit harder for him to. So he came off the bench, right? And I think just him making that big sacrifice was huge, because he obviously did so on the Lakers, right? He was asked to come off the bench, and he did. But, his role, I wouldn't necessarily say he sacrificed, right? He was still playing upwards of, 25 to 30 minutes a game. But in this new role with the Clippers, right, Westbrook's only playing around 16 to 20 minutes, maybe at the most, right? But in that, he gets to have the ball in his hands, and he's just been awesome on both ends of the court. But this video is not about Westbrook, it's about Harden. But still wanted to shout out Westbrook, because he has just been awesome for the Clippers off the bench. If he didn't decide to come off the bench, I guarantee the Clippers record is not what it is. I guarantee they won't have the success that they've had lately, right? He's been the perfect sixth man for them. Like I said, him and Norman Powell have been both great off the bench. But now getting back to Harden, man, I can't say enough about James Harden. Like, he's probably coming off one of his best seasons. I know that might be up for debate, but come on. He averaged 20 and 10, right? I think around 22, 23 points, around 11 or 12 assists. And he had one of his best shooting seasons from three. And just his pick and roll partnership with Joel Embiid was just awesome, right? Probably the best two-man game in the league last year, along with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. But yeah, I was still shocked that Harden left the Sixers in the first place. Obviously, there was kind of some alleged drama and things that may have happened. I don't want to get into that because I don't know. But obviously, right, it's a business. Things happen, and Harden wanted out. And he obviously wanted to go to LA. Clippers were his preferred destination, and he got exactly what he wanted. But like I said, Harden's coming off one of his best seasons ever. And I think we kind of still had the notion that, like, oh, Harden's declining, or he's not the same player. But clearly he showed last year in the Sixers that he can still do a lot. And he should have been an All-Star last year. He should have been on an All-NBA team, if we're being honest. And he wasn't. For some reason, there's a lot of people that still seem to doubt him, and he had a great year last year. But coming over now here in the Clippers, right? Obviously, he was going to have to sacrifice, right? He was going to have to take a back seat from a scoring perspective. But from a facilitating perspective, he's still been excellent, right? Around 9 assists, averaging around, I believe, 16 or 17 points. And he's been shooting extremely efficiently, having one of the most efficient seasons of his career. But it's kind of crazy, right? Because obviously, that Westbrook and Harden pairing, it didn't really work out at first, right? It didn't really work out in Houston. And obviously, they only played one season together. And it didn't work out like I was saying. And they went like 0-5, 0-6, whatever it was with, both, Westbrook and Harden starting. But Harden and Russ, they've been able to coexist. Their minutes are staggered. They haven't played a lot together, but even when they are on the floor now, you can see it working, right? Both, have sacrificed for each other. They both still have a great relationship with each other. And that's been the main thing that has made this whole thing successful. Because yes, Harden, like I said, he's set up Kawhi and Paul George. And, he's been the perfect point guard for them. Kawhi and Paul George have been super efficient. Harden's been super efficient. It's just been great for everybody. But just the pairing between him and Westbrook, Ty Lue has made it work, right? And obviously Ty Lue, known as one of the best coaches in the NBA, knows how to mix and match, and he has fit together Russ and Harden so perfectly. And at this point, this is unfair. This is why I titled the video, right? You know, the Clippers should have never been allowed to trade for James Harden, because at this point, it's just unfair. I mean, just the way Harden, PG, and Kawhi play off each other, I mean, it's unfair. If they're healthy, like, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't at least make a Western Conference Finals or at least make the NBA Finals. But yeah, really in this video, like I said, I wanted to shout out Harden. He's just been excellent. And I know he's had a lot of doubters over the past few years. You know, he's been to, you know, pretty much 4 different teams in 4 different seasons, but he's definitely found a place here. And, you know, I think the Clippers, they're going to want to re-sign him, obviously. I think with even whatever happens, whether they win a championship or not, they're probably going to re-sign him, because just his fit with Paul George and Kawhi is so perfect. The Clippers have been looking for that facilitator for so long. You know, they thought they had it in Westbrook. I thought they had it in Westbrook, right? I didn't think they were going to trade for James Harden, you know, try to trade for any other point guard, because I thought Russ was that perfect facilitator. You know, he played great for them last year. He played great, you know, for the Clippers to start off the season. But clearly the Clippers, you know, they wanted to hop on the opportunity to get Harden, because they knew he would be an even better fit in that starting lineup with Kawhi and Paul George. But man, Harden, can't say enough about how well he's played on the Clippers. And, you know, it's always the thing with the Clippers, right? If they can stay healthy, they have a real shot at the championship. And I would say that this year is probably their best chance more than any other year. I think, you know, with how competitive the West is, with how wide open it is, with teams like the Warriors and the Lakers and the Suns, you know, struggling. Obviously, you know, the Nuggets and Thunder and Timberwolves are doing their thing, right? The Nuggets are looking to repeat, and I think they have a good shot at that. I think the Western Conference is still relatively wide open. If the Clippers can break through, and if they can stay healthy, right? That's the big thing. If they can stay healthy, I believe they got a real shot at a championship. And just Harden's fit, like I said, has just been absolutely excellent. So props to the Clippers, man. Like I said, did not think, you know, this trade would work out. I thought the Clippers gave too much of their depth. I did think that the big 3 pairing would work, which it has, but I just didn't think they'd have enough depth. And clearly they've proven me wrong. Westbrook and Norman Powell have been great off the bench. Amir Coffey's been good off the bench. Daniel Tice has been awesome. So this whole Clippers team, this team is gelling really, really well right now. And really the only thing that can stop the Clippers is injuries. You know, if Harden gets injured, if PG, Kawhi, you know, if they get injuries, it's probably over. But Harden's been perfect, so that's all I want to say with that. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of James Harden and the Clippers. Do you think he'll re-sign? How do you think his fit has been so far? So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.